Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, on what may be the last FMQs for Humza Yousaf. And it must be said that Douglas Ross played a blinder today. Very humiliating to Humza Yousaf. He sat there and he basically had a go, not just at Humza Yousaf, but at incoming buffoon John Swinney. And he produced the begging letter in the chamber. This, if you remember, is the begging letter that Humza Yousaf had on bended knee and kissing the ring, trying desperately to remain as FM and remain and for the SNP to remain as government. And so he sent out that letter saying, now is the time not to have this and not to do this, and was literally on bended knee begging the opposition not to get rid of him, not to vote for no confidence. They were having none of it, of course. And Ross is now tightening the screw, making Humza Yousaf's possibly last FMQs a misery. And it's nice to see. He doesn't deserve any sort of valediction. He doesn't deserve anything that makes his last day good. He's created misery for many, and it's only right that his last day is uncomfortable and awful as well. Can't come soon enough. Let's take a look to see how it went and how Ross, like I say, for once, was actually on top form. Here you go. So, Humza Yousaf loses the rag at the final FMQs. They put final in quotes because he may get another one. Unlikely, but probably maybe one more. Maybe one more. But it all depends on what happens with Kate today. But I believe, as I say, that she has bent the knee, kissed the ring, and taken the King's shilling. And she's joined the SNP rank and file by becoming a cabinet member. She's no longer a rebel. That, I think, will upset Fergus more than anyone else. But anyway, it's the final FMQs as Douglas Ross produces the humiliating begging letter. The outgoing SNP leader, reading is hard. The outgoing SNP leader had spoken of the need for more consensus in Scottish politics, but struggled to contain his anger as he was mocked from the Tory benches. Well, it's easy to mock him. He does so many stupid things, doesn't he? Humza Yousaf lost his cool several times as he addressed Holyrood for the first time since announcing his resignation as First Minister on Monday. He did not announce his resignation as First Minister on Monday. He announced he was planning to resign as leader of the SNP. There was no mention of resignation as First Minister. The outgoing SNP leader had recently called for a more conciliatory tone in Scottish politics. Is that because he's scared of the noises that the opposition are making? Is it because every time he says anything or presents a policy, everyone instantly rejects it because it's mad, bad and awful? Very likely. Anyway, he displayed no sign of taking his own words on board as he ranted at Parliament when put on the spot by Douglas Ross. And the Scottish Conservative leader drew laughs when he produced a letter the FM had written for him last week, asking for Tory support to remain in the post. Please, don't fire me. Please let me stay here. I need my massive payroll. I need my salary because I've got debts to pay. Anyway, Mr. Ross, who said it could well be Mr. Yousaf's final FMQs, also said John Swinney, expected to be the next SNP leader, had his fingerprints all over toxic nationalist policies of the last 17 years. Yousaf shouted across the chamber as he responded to Ross, who took credit for ousting the First Minister with his motion of no confidence. He accused Mr. Ross of wanting to talk about personalities as opposed to talking about policies. I'm going to tell you now, Humza Yousaf, the last thing you want is people to be talking about your policies. Those policies are awful. Anyway, he became so emotional he got Liz Truss's name wrong on numerous occasions. And after one rant about the UK government, Mr. Ross said he's talking a big game now. He says, has he forgotten it was just last Friday he wrote this humiliating letter to me, and he pulls out the letter, begging the Conservatives and our colleagues here to save his skin. He was actually begging us to save his job. That's how quickly things change in the world of Humza Yousaf. He added, Humza Yousaf is lashing out today because he knows it was the Scottish Tories that forced him out of his job. And they did. Mr Ross focused on the previous record of Mr Swinney, who announced his leadership candidacy just this morning. He said the former Deputy First Minister had dropped the ball dozens of times and stood right by Nicola Sturgeon when she obsessed over independence, when she increased taxes, when she wrecked Scotland's public services. And Mr Ross also called Mr Swinney the architect of the hated named persons law, who deleted every WhatsApp message that should have gone to the UK COVID inquiry in a disgraceful cover-up. He said Mr Swinney was the Education Secretary who let our schools spiral down the international league tables and oversaw the disastrous ferry deal. And referencing the movie Godfather 3, it's getting deep here, isn't he? Mr Ross said, just when John Swinney thought he was out, they pulled him back in because there's literally nobody else. The SNP's man for the future is their former leader from the past, from one continuity candidate to another. He said out of the 17 years of SNP government, John Swinney sat around the cabinet table. His fingerprints are all over their most toxic policies. How will going back to the future get the SNP out of the mess that they're in? Yousaf responded, saying both John Swinney and Kate Forbes, who were weighing up a run at leadership, but it is expected to stand aside, were more popular than Mr Ross. Well, I don't know about that. I think in total votes, Ross has got more because he's got 2 seats. The others but 1. But he is right. Yousaf sits there and goes, I'm this, I'm that, I'm all the other. I'm every flavour, you know. I'm Baskin Robbins. I tell you what you are. You're a desperately sad man who had to write begging letters to the opposition so you can keep your arse in your job. That was the moment when you sat at that table writing those letters. Did it not consider yourself? Did you not think to yourself, this is the moment I need to resign with dignity? No, please save my job, he said on bended knee. And they did not. And he's gone. Well, he will be gone. He will soon be gone. God, the tenses are hard, aren't they? Anyway, I shall round off, I shall come up, and we shall well done to Mr Ross today. It's not often he gets it, but he banged it on today. Let's get up. I always enjoy seeing politicians feeling uncomfortable and shifting in their seat as they know the truth is battering them. But it's always a pleasure as well when it's a leader like Humza Yousaf. And Ross did well, but, you know, Ross is never going to be in the position of being the leader of the, not the leader of the party, not going to be in the position of being First Minister. So it's a bit easy for him. But on the other hand, why not? It's his job. Box him around the ears, give him a bloody nose or 2 in the chamber, and make sure he knows that he's in the big boy league now. Anyway, we'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video, and I will speak to you later. Bye.